G'day, Angie Mahar here. Are all people with codependence who've been in a relationship or any relationship type or might still be in a relationship with somebody with borderline personality, are you all really seethingly, unconsciously super angry? I doubt it. Could some people be? Could some people be angry and not be aware of that? I don't know if the voice is going to clear up here. Could some people be angry and not be aware of that anger? Sure. This is part of what happens in humanity, let alone if you have codependency, right? So a couple things I'd like to advocate for you to think about. People with BPD don't always have to have BPD, okay? There's a recovery process, and it does come to a conclusion. Maybe so for a smaller percentage of people, but many more people are working their way along that path, that journey toward recovery from BPD. And many of those people, they're all individuals. And many of those people with BPD might understand their own process and or think it's going to be highly restricted or they can only get so far because of the pseudoscience of psychiatry with the hegemony of big pharma. It's a story out there, ladies and gentlemen. You don't have to believe it. They don't have any scientific proof. They don't have any evidence. And you know what I would suggest? It kind of takes a certain level of expertise, which if I can humbly say, I believe I do have, lived experience besides education. Because education doesn't really educate us that much on cluster B, really, even to this day in university. But my lived experience, and I get pigeonholed a lot. And people who are trolls, and I don't think everybody disagrees with me as a troll, but that's what the trolls say. There's really only a couple of them out there right now that, they've been active here and there, and maybe they'll get active again. Maybe, whatever. But they like to say so many wild and ridiculous things about me. And, you get to make up your own mind, but geez. I have a real track record online for what it's worth. 25 years of working with clients, of disseminating valid, accurate information about BPD and about what loved ones are going through, because I've been both sides of the fence, right? I am a person who's the ex of two quiet BPD. I was with two quiet BPD partners. They're exes, one from ages ago, one from, more recent, like a year and a half ago. And also from 2004 to 2006, I was in a relationship with somebody who was BPD, NPD, comorbid, and an alcoholic. What a trip. So I recovered from BPD fully 30 years ago. Yeah. Some people just don't like that. Some people think, I get a little bit passionate. And it's because, I'm taking everything personally. This is what the trolls say, right? There's a few of them out there. I'm taking everything personally. And it's interesting to me that as other YouTubers go about their business and do whatever they want to do, and some of them, I would argue, not doing it in a very, especially I'm talking about in the realm of talking about borderline personality more than narcissistic personality, just to be clear, but not to aim at anybody specifically. But people continue to sort of do what they're doing in ways that I think might be a little bit not so constructive or healthy for other people, but to each their own, right? But I think where empathy, I believe in empathy and I believe in educating people and helping people, but I do not believe in telling people what to do. Never trying to tell you what to do. And I think it's really important that codependents don't fall into narratives around, because there's a lot of other narratives besides mine that would support you and say, well, you're working through what you're working through and you're doing the best that you can. So whether or not you have anger subconsciously that you become consciously aware of or not, or at this point in time or at some other point in time, it's very true that there can be, but anybody can have anger when they've been hurt. So codependency is a response to adverse childhood experience too, like BPD is, but they're not the same response to the same adverse childhood experience. There's a similarity there. There's an overlap there. But so I'm not sure. I have a lot of ideas. I've got on my community tab right now, what would you like to hear more about from me? And for people still watching my channel, or maybe who might come back over after a while, or maybe you've been out having a vacation. Some of the restrictions from what's going on in this nutty world have been lifted, and maybe people just aren't watching videos a lot lately, or whatever the case. But the thing is, I really believe in my message and the accuracy of it. So, I just wanted to say here today that I see some disturbing trends, not only on YouTube, but on the internet. Yeah, I do. But people can do and say whatever they want, and then you make up your own mind, Probably watching a plethora of channels, probably reading blogs and books, etc. That's great. But parse your information carefully. Don't let anybody shame you. Don't let anybody attack you. Don't let anybody tell you what's wrong with you. Don't let anybody tell you what you need to do about it. Don't let anybody tell you that if you step to the left, it means all this, and if you step to the right, it means all that. Because that's gaslighting, straight up gaslighting. I'm not here to tell you any of that. I'm just here to support people, to help people, to educate people in an empathic way. And yeah, I'm going to say this one more time only. I may reference it once in a while. But I did fully recover from BPD. And there are other people who have fully recovered from BPD. And it's not a serious mental illness. It is for 15% of people diagnosed with it. It's more impacting. And it might even be more, it's serious. But it's adverse childhood, response to things. And that can be really serious. But I would still put forward the factual reality that goes against the pseudoscience narrative of psychiatry and hegemony of Big Pharma, where they have another agenda, obviously, don't they? And it isn't really about helping people get well. Not like humanistic psychology is about people getting well, helping people to get well. No agenda. I don't have the ability to write prescriptions, nor would I ever want to. So it's all about helping people to learn coping skills, to find themselves again after these relationships, or people in BPD recovery. And so many people are in BPD recovery, and they can comment on a channel here and there, or they're writing all over the internet, and they have their own channels. But and many of them are really working hard in therapy, and that's a positive thing. But then some drop out, or some can't continue the therapy for whatever reasons, and they don't get further down the path. So who among us here on YouTube or anywhere else is really talking about the recovered borderline? And sure, I get a lot of flack for saying that, but I say it because it's true. And then people will say, well, so you got other YouTubers out there doing whatever they want, and maybe it's really not good for people. I don't know. But if I get passionate, then everybody just goes, oh, AJ, you're still a borderline, or they talk behind my back, and oh, AJ's still a borderline, or maybe she's just fooled herself and she thinks she's better than she is. I just know that I'm actually mentally healthy. Yes, as if I never had borderline personality. Yes. And I got labeled with it, not assessed for it, at the age of 17. When I was about to turn 18, I get numbers all mixed up, but 1975, I think it was. And then I go through this recovery process. I start seeing a psychologist when I'm 16 years old. And it takes me 16 years. Almost, pretty much. So, it's like 28, 30 years now, yes. But the point is, I went through the long process as, I quote, a factual, knowledgeable expert in the field, Dr. John Gunderson, that it takes 8 to 16 years for recovery from BPD, but I would suggest more like 12 to 14 to 16. And DBT hasn't changed that. And so many people with BPD and or codependence who want the person with BPD in their life to go to treatment, because you're not really blocking them. Your codependency isn't some big disease where you've got the same dysfunction as them, and therefore, if they start to get therapy, you're going to be all threatened and you won't know what to do with yourself. Could there be somebody out there with codependency that might be in that particular position? Maybe. But these are not monolithic groups. And I really believe that the way that many people on many different avenues online put out information is not healthy for people. But then it's up to everybody to decide for themselves. So anyway, I just think, to keep it real here, that, yeah, I guess people heard crap about me a little while ago from a couple of trolls, and I know who those trolls are. I don't think that, they don't have accurate information about me, but they have a narrative, they're entitled to their own whatever's going on with them. But just because I get passionate about something, I'm just telling you right now, if you're interested at all, right? I'm sidestepping. I'm stepping out of this. I'm going to try to, manage, because I don't manage anything. I'm just me. Me, the expert, and me, the person. And I'm not going to just idly ever sit by again if somebody drags up what came up recently, but what's come up before too. That there's just a very few trolls out there. That some of them have been probably dogging me or somewhat obsessed with me in whatever way, for whatever their reasons are, for years. Well, so, but I'm not going to entertain, and I haven't for a while, in my own space, in my head, in my soul, in my heart, in who I know myself to be, which is not like, hey, I'm not saying I'm some great person. No, I make mistakes and I'm a human being. I put my pants on one leg at a time like everybody else. Shorts these days, but Anyway, the point is, people just want to throw at me that I have borderline personality still, and blah, 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 blah. It just shows how little they really know about BPD and about the recovery. And not only mine, but other people's, and people that are on the journey right now. So, but I just want to remind people with, BPD that you can recover. I want to remind people with codependency that whether you have untapped anger or you've just realized that recently or whatever, well, okay, yes, that happens to a lot of people, because wherever there's been a lot of hurt and adverse experience, there's going to be anger and pain, because anger is a protection against pain. That's why it's so important to work through anger and to be wary of people with very angry presentations, or somebody that wants to just push your buttons, because what's that about? I mean, I wouldn't want to be around somebody who just wanted to push my buttons as a person. I don't have the borderline buttons anymore, just saying. The point is, though, that people really got to be careful. They really got to think about where they're getting their information from. And now, like for a lot of years, it's not just about accuracy versus inaccuracy versus just mixing everything up, and beyond. It's now also about, I believe, style of delivery. I believe being real with people and being empathic and caring. You either have it or you don't. And I believe I have it. And I think it's important for people. I don't know, if you feel like you need to be shocked into some truth, you could probably do that all by yourself. Yeah, go bang your head against the wall. I don't recommend it. It's not a kind thing to do to yourself. So is that really something that's going to help people? I don't know. So when I work with people, or when I do videos or whatever I'm doing, what's on my mind is trying to give information that can help people for wherever you are, for whoever you are. I look at all people with BPD are not same. All people who recovered from BPD no longer have BPD. We don't have the same. It's not a disability. It lasts for a lifetime. It's not a neurological problem. It's just not all these things. It's not a crying baby. Can some people with BPD be in a place where they're triggered back and it's got something to do with really young child? Sure. People that are recovered? No. So there needs to be a lot more said about recovery. And I've been looking, and I've got some sources, and I've got some stuff I think I'll probably be writing about more than talking about on YouTube. Doesn't really matter. But this video is just wanted to say that there's a lot of people who are in recovery from BPD that still accept the narrative of, they don't realize how much it's hurting them, the pseudoscience of psychiatry. And in doing so, they limit themselves and think there is no such thing as full recovery if they believe they can recover at all. So I think they have to be, quote, cured, unquote. There's no cure. There's no cure needed, and there's no cure coming from psychiatry because it's pseudoscience. So, hey, I welcome your comments, welcome your feedback, welcome your questions. And unlike trolls have said about me since I've been online, 25 years plus, I'm so controlling and I'm so, anybody that disagrees with me is, no. But are there some comments that I could get on the channel that I go, nah, because I don't want to argue with people, okay? I don't believe that arguing is the way to helping people on their journey or providing useful information. I don't believe chaos and drama does that. I don't believe that when I read comments on my channel, I never have done this. I do not suppose to know who's who, or if I get a comment from somebody that's a little bit more harsh or disagreeing with me, which is fine, I don't automatically think it's from somebody with BPD. Because, I'm behind the screen here, and you can't know me any better than, like trolls think they know me so well. But you can't know me any better than I know you unless I work with you, and even then, you probably don't get to know me specifically. But the thing is, this idea that somebody can reach through the screen and tell you who you are, well, people only do that from a very, very damaged ego, and it's very, very dangerous. So, and it's up to each person who they want to read or listen to or watch or wherever you're taking in your information from. But just know that nobody should be browbeaten or gaslit about their own reality, as I've experienced from trolls who want to tell me what my life is, who want to tell me I'm not recovered, who want to tell others that, who want to, try to impugn my reputation or me or whatever. And this is a society, this is the world that we live in today. It's not civil, but it's up to each and every one of us, and I consider myself one of those people with empathy, that I have the ability to clearly, rationally think and parse things carefully, and that I want to be civil, and that I want to be respectful. And so, to that end, I will just say, if there's any more stuff like what happened a while ago online, what's happened at different times online, that comes at me with false narratives, trolls, then I'm going to really come here and be me, the person, never mind everything else I do, and I'm going to stand up, and I'm going to not allow those people to have the last word, because they're just depraved individuals who think they know somebody else's truth, which is the height of gaslighting. And I'm not calling anyone a narcissist with that. I'm just saying, what's with trolls? What's with people who, more important than that, what are you doing to yourself? Because maybe you're not your own best friend today. I'm my best friend today. And I have many other best friends and a really wonderful, loving partner, by the way. But maybe you're not your best friend today. Maybe you don't know how to do that yet. Maybe you haven't got there yet. You know what that means? You might take really brutal, harsh messages, whether in writing or in voice or wherever, and you might think that, that must really going to be helping you because of the style of delivery? I don't know. Information, style of delivery I think is just as important as information. But just be careful out there, because misinformation is everywhere. And when it's delivered in a way where it's gaslighting you, like here's the comparison I'm trying to make. Trolls try to say they know my reality or who I am, and they don't. Well, I wouldn't sit here on this side of the camera and say to you as a commenter or you as a listener or viewer right now, I know who you are, I know what your problem is, you just need to do this, you got to stop doing that. That's absurd. And more to the point, it's disrespectful and then some. So is that how you want to take in information? Is that what you think will help you grow? maybe that's something from your past right now, because you deserve empathy, and you deserve understanding, and you deserve to take in information without somebody beating you over the head and characterizing you at the same time. And it happens all over the internet. Anyway, this is my 2 cents for today. And I'm, just trying to not talk to trolls, but just say there's only a few of them out there. Really, there are a few of them out there. But, I just want to keep it real and say, don't allow yourself to be being, cyberbullied or trolled on the receiving end of information when you're searching and trying to find yourself again, whether you have BPD or codependency, and you're trying to make sense out of what you've been through. You need support. And maybe you're not, and you need empathy, and maybe you aren't your own best friend, and so maybe you will accept really poor treatment with a lot of misinformation. I don't know, but take care of yourself out there.